tournament in the Netherlands. And already it's turning out to be quite something. Nightmaster welcomes to the list once again from the Netherlands, Ascia! Well, that was an anticlimax. Well, let's do it again. Ascia! Big support from the home crowd there. They've also got their Italian mercenary, Giulio Castruccio, has done every round with them so far. However, they stand against the UK Federation 2. Well, both will be hungry for a victory now. But we have seen some seriously good fighting from them both. Resilience from the UK Fed 2. And there does need to be some adjustment made to the list here, because there seem to be a few defects with a great aggression shown from Ascia here. And you can see that is a takedown there. The UK Fed and Ascia fighter have gone down once again in the middle of the list. So it is still 3 against 3. And Ascia now the advantage. The mercenary from Italy has proved that he goes for a charge and slams into the leg and loosens part of the armor of the UK Fed fighter. If he could just sweep away those legs. And it looks as though, in fact, one of the UK fighters who was taken down, it was not called. However, now it goes down to 2 versus 2. Oh, and notice it. Ascia fighter get the advantage now. 2 against 1. He's hitting high, but he needs to go low to take those legs out. But it appears he can't, and they have to be very careful they don't fall over their own grounded players. Ascia might be wise to go for a suicide move here. However, the UK Fed fighter does have an arm locked against that list, so they're going to have to work very, very hard to break him away from it. Some nice counterattacks there from the UK fighter, who now starts to take some punishment from Ascia, the Dutch team, looking for a victory here. Big shots coming in. You can see how far they're leaning down. Can't get the UK fighter off the list. Seriously tense stuff, and one mistake could spell disaster for Ascia, the UK, but that is it! Ascia the victory! Bitterly difficult at the end there. And I think the Ascia fighter will have some questions about why the opponent he fell down with was allowed to continue. And the experienced marshals there, and in fact you also have the team captain trying to understand. Now, if there is an appeal made by a team, it can only come from the team captain and made to the Night Marshal. This has been accepted. And the Night Marshal rightly calls for a quick restart. There seems to be a check for loose armor from the Slovenian Marshal, Alexander Titov, who's travelled over here just yesterday, arrived last night. It was an early run there from the mercenary. However, he's looking around and he's found himself with some huge fighters against. And you can see he's going to need some help there. Looking for an early takedown both teams. And it looks like there is a takedown at the back there. And you can see, yes, it's one of the Ascia fighters. Some big blows coming down here from the halberdier of UK Fed 2. He needs to be careful it doesn't get locked on a double takedown there. In fact, 4 fighters down in the space of a second. 2 from each team. And you can see now the mercenary from Italy being forced back right into the list there. However, you can see the big axe wielder trying to prize the UK Fed fighter away from that list, who is somehow is holding on. We'll never know how. He's going to find that difficult to break away. That's a UK Fed fighter down. That is absolutely incredible from the Italian fighter. And it is now 2 against 2. Quite how that UK fighter is still holding on is something incredible. Down to 1 versus 1. Big trouble here, but one false move from the Ascia fighter could spell disaster for them. He breaks away from him. Holds on again, but he needs to be very careful at this point. There's one of his own fighters on the ground behind him. One push could have the UK fighter lose his balance. If they both go down, of course, this will go to an extra round. Big strike there from the UK fighter, who has not given up. Oh, and that's some big energy going through. And they're both down. So, nobody wins the round. We have one extra round in this match. And that is the reign. If you're concerned about the rain, there's lots of space in the beer tent and the Striid Waffles tent. And of course, rain is just part and parcel of what we do. And it looks like we are ready now. One minor adjustment for the armour of the UK Fed. Like I said, as nobody won the last round, it will go to an extra round. Because of draws, the longest fight recorded went to an incredible 7 rounds due to a draw 4 times. This is where the surface can get quite clumpy, so the difficulty is that they can even fall over clumps of sand. And again, there's that fast start from the Italian, which turns out to be nothing in the end. Aggression shown, but that is one big UK fighter he's against, and somehow manages to keep his balance, and they're both down. The big UK fighter crushing down on the Italian there. And that is, this is not called, I think there's an illegal move there by the UK fighter, so he's down. Ascia now with an advantage. And you can see all the weight of these Ascia fighters. A very near mistake there. They've both gone down. The suicide move was well worth it. And you can see the Ascia fighters hammering down on Ukfed2. The UK Fed, lots to come back with here. And then the Ascia fighters need to work on the greaves of that fighter who's in a bad position now. He may go down, they both do, which means it is now 2 versus 1. The UK fighter showing great resilience here. And they're going to need to prize him away from that list if they are to get him down. He just have the advantage of being in the corner. They do not want to wear themselves down in the process. Big support for UK and for Ascia. And that is a victory for Ascia of the Netherlands. Phenomenal there.